Well, hello and welcome to a new season of the DFI podcast. This is the first episode, so after a long break, I guess from the end of last year, we're finally back. And then this year, we're going with a whole different concept. We will have some of the classic episodes and classic kind of mini series that we had in the past. We will have the deep dive with Tim. We are going to have the ramble with Chris. Loki is also helping us with some awesome interviews. But we are going to cover a lot more of the events live. We're going to go more to the conferences and basically the success that we have had in the past with Game Day Live. We want to kind of transmit it from the exhibit room, and we also want to cover Superpile this year and do a lot more stuff that we have done in the past. As I say, centering more on live events. But anyway, it's gonna be a season of change and a year of different things. To kick things, started, we welcome Bauer Equipment America. They are our season sponsor. They really are helping us a lot, by sponsoring the season and allow us to do all these things. And then we really want to get things started with this episode, which is a first episode about projects and different deep foundations going around the world. So in this first episode, we're covering 3 different projects. One is in Miami, doing a bi-directional load test with GRL. We're going to explain what is a bi-directional test, and we're going to show how difficult it is to use foundation auger cast piles in Miami, and how can you make things more efficient, right, and to deliver better products. Then we're going to move into Pennsylvania. We're going to cover driven piles in Karst. So we pass from auger cast piles to driven piles, and how you handle that, how you tackle situations when you have Karst and you have to drive piles on this. We're going to see the role of dynamic testing and how all that relates into the project. And then for the third segment of this episode, we're going to go to Colombia, and we're going to do some testing, anchor testing and micropile testing, both in Bogotá and Medellín, seeing the different conditions. Our good friend Matt is joining us on this, and also Chris Ramsey and Jeff Seeger. DFI, we were present there doing some talks and some events. So I hope you like this format. I mean, the entire episode is recorded with my phone, so I hope things go well, and be on the lookout for the rest of the year with a lot more things coming. Thank you. Enjoy it. Hello and welcome. We're in Miami, Florida today for the DFI podcast, and we will be talking and seeing images and awesome stuff about bi-directional load testing on auger cast piles, CFA piles, in one of the iconic projects here in Miami. I hope you like it, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you learn a little more about the geology and the typical foundation systems in Miami. Thank you.
Hey there, everybody. This is John Sinreich with GRL Engineers. I am the chair of DFI Seismic and Lateral Loads Committee, but today I'm going to talk to you about bidirectional testing, because that's what we're doing here. We have a test pile here down in sunny Isles, Florida. This is a 200-foot deep auger cast test pile. It's right now under load. We do levels of bidirectional jacks embedded within the pile. Right now we're loading the low. As you can see, it's not very exciting. This is a good thing.
It is exciting for some, right?
We don't like excitement. We want it to be nice and smooth and boring. But basically, the jacks are being pressurized by the pumps over here, hydraulic hoses that go all the way down to the jack level, which is approximately 160 feet to the lower one. The hydraulic fluid is just plain old drinking water from the hardware store. There's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, bidirectional jacks are single use only, so we don't have to worry about them rusting once we get done using them. Number two, it's very environmentally friendly, because if we spill any, we're just spilling water on the ground. And number three, it's a lot cheaper and easier to get 10 to 20 gallons of water than hydraulic fluid. So that's how we load the pile. Then this equipment over here We just have wired in all of the placement gauges and strain gauges that are embedded in the pile, as well as the top of the pile is being monitored by those couple of digital levels. This test is run basically in line with ASTM 8169, which is the standard for bidirectional testing. Although there's a lot of sacrificial equipment that goes in and it's never recovered, believe it or not, this is actually more economical than doing a traditional top-down test. That the load requirements for this pile, which we're going to wind up going probably to the equivalent of about 7,500 kips of equivalent top load. To do something like that with a beam and reaction piles would require a lot of equipment to be moved in and then moved back out. There's also safety concerns. Again, the jacks here are buried hundreds of feet in the ground, so if they have any kind of loss of pressure, all that energy is buried safely beneath us. Yeah, and that's it. That's bidirectional testing in a nutshell. So thank you very much.
Hello and welcome. This is Sebastian. I'm reporting from a project site here in York, Pennsylvania, where we have some driven piles going into Karst terrain. It's a very challenging and very interesting project. The main problem, of course, is that it's Karst, so we have all kind of voids and all kind of things. And we're trying to drive a pile and pass that zone and get into good capacity. It's interesting. It's definitely part of what has been in my career of dealing with this complicated size having Karst. Many times you want to go with micro piles. That's a really good option on Karst when the Karst is controlled, when the Karst is just defined by a limited thickness. When that limited thickness it's known, you can pass it with a micro pile and then you can go below and you can put your foundation there. But in situations like this Karst keeps going for several hundred feet, so you cannot really do that. It would be very challenging to get a pile to really stop and establish a bond zone. Other options as drill shafts are also very complicated. Grouting could be argued it's also a good reason. We have used grouting in similar projects, but in this case there is all kind of issues with conduits and cars connected. There is a quarry right next to us, so it's also very tricky to do things like this. So when all the other options also fail, driving piles as the traditional method comes again as a very attractive option. These piles are going for around 100 feet or even more, and then every single one has PDA and restrict. That's a good way to make sure that you drive your pile. You don't know if it's a whole tip capacity or friction capacity. It's probably a mix of both, but you know that you have your PDA, you get your capacity, what you need, and then you wait a few days and you restrict them, and you make sure there is no pile relaxation. So it's challenging projects, but these are the ones that really make our career worth it, and it shows experience, right? When you start seeing that you can tackle these issues. There is nothing easy in a pile going to Sound Rock and being a driven pile. It's not always the case. As I say, there is many systems that could be used. In this particular case, this happened to be the best option. So enjoy the other videos that I'm going to be putting together from this. Hello and welcome. We're in Bogotá, Colombia with the DFI participants. So we have Jeff, we have Matt, we have Chris. We have the event today with all the presentations and it was amazing. And now we're going to do some load testing. So you want to explain a little bit what the load test is about?
It's a hollow bar micropilot. They install to 21 meters. R38 bar, 6-inch diameter, 150 millimeter diameter bit in normally consolidated clays.
We got bets on dinners. Who's got the best guess?
Yeah, we all get to guess the load, and
So
I'm gonna win.
that's the rig that they use to install the micropile, and then in a second we'll show the test itself, right?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So here we are at the load test site. They have started to do the loading. We've got a couple of cycles in. They're going to take it up to 133% of the design load in cycles, similar to the FHWA PTI standard for testing. And we're going to see where it fails.
Pues el que están registrando en cero.
Y en 6.5 eso implica que todavía podía dar más carga.
All right, so we continue here at the load test in Bogota. We are in the north part of Bogota, Escuela Colombiana de Ingeniería, and we're participating in a conference. So we have DFI presentations, and then we have the load test that is right behind the one that we were giving some details. It's a very interesting test. It's in the Bogota clays. It's very soft clays. They did the first cycle and it failed by deformation more than anything. Yeah, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool here to have Jeff and Matt and Chris and being able to predict these things and be part of this. We have about 220 attendees to the conference. DFI was a central part of it, and we're going to continue the Colombian tour this week. We're going to go to Medellín and do a couple more presentations there, and then we're going to do 8 load tests. So we'll record more videos from Medellín and different geology, different characteristics, hopefully different results. Hello and welcome. We are back on the DFI podcast from Medellín, Colombia this morning. We are here at an event, it's Seminario Internacional de Geotecnia in Medellín. This is the second part of the tour that we're doing with DFI. So today we're testing 4 elements. We're testing a couple anchors here. I'm going to show the entire, to the other side. So this is the first one that we're doing. The test is underway. As you can see, we have all kind of precautions. Let me just, so we can see, we are in the parking lot of Universidad of Medellín. We have the complete setup here where we kind of operate the jacks. This is all thanks to Geodic. It's a local company here in Medellín that is helping us with this. We have about 300 people that are going to come and see the end of the test. Right now, obviously, we're starting with a slow test. This is the second one we're going to test. It's not ready yet. This is the first one. As you can see, we have the jack and everything it's coming, so more to come very soon. All right, so I have my friend Joan Marin. I'm going to be translated as he explains us what exactly is on the test. Joan is an engineer in charge in Geodic or Geodic in Medellín, and he's going to give us all the specifications about the test. So, Joan, you say it in Spanish and I'll translate it immediately to English. Go.
Okay. Construimos un anclaje activo reforzado con barra R32-280.
It's an active anchor reinforced with an R32 steel bar. It's a hollow bar. It's una barra hueca, ¿cierto?
Sí, autoperforante.
It's a self-drilling bar, very common here in Medellín.
Bueno, contamos con esta barra con una capacidad a la afluencia de 22 toneladas
Capacity of the bar is 11 tons,
y de tracción o ya rotura de 28 toneladas.
and the ultimate load is 28 tons.
Contamos con una longitud de 9 metros de perforación, de los cuales 1 metro es de longitud libre y el resto está en bulbo.
So it's a total of 9 meters of anchor. 1 meter is it's free, and then the remaining 8 meters are bond. It's important to explain that this is just for demonstration purposes. This is not for a project. That's the reason it's a strange anchor.
Buscábamos encontrar la capacidad última de este tipo de anclaje. Encontramos una capacidad de 19 toneladas antes de la afluencia. El fallo, digamos que fue geotécnico, fallo entre techada y suelo.
So this test, actually, he's telling me just failed a second ago, and it ended up finding yield at around 19 tons. And obviously, it started being seen by deformation.
Okay. Cumplimos de pronto con todos los estándares que habla la FHWA para este tipo de pruebas.
So, yep, it actually satisfied all the FHWA, and the final load was 19 tons, 19 toneladas, ¿cierto?
Sí, buscábamos encontrar 133% como si fuera un anclaje permanente, pero digamos que no tuvimos la capacidad de descarga por la falla antes de este.
Yeah, and it's very interesting because he said based on the preliminary design they did, they were going up to 133, but it was not possible to go there because it failed. So it actually shows that the prediction was right on the money, and it shows that the values used in Medellín for bond are pretty good. ¿Esto fue en arenisca o en qué roca?
Fue en una granodiorita en parte.
So the test is on a granodiorita, which is a metamorphic rock very common in this area that has high capacity. All right, muchas gracias. All right, so we are back in Medellín for the second set of tests. So the one before were ground anchors. These ones are micropiles. I'm going to show the whole setup. It's pretty. We have two tests going on, or they are going to be going on. They have not started yet. The first one is just a pull-out test on a micropile. We have the reaction micropiles there. As you can see, since we're doing two tests, we're trying to use the equipment to provide the support. So it's a little intrinsic, but it's pretty good. Again, this test is provided by Geodic in Colombia. It's a very good company here that does a lot of this testing, and these are sacrificial tests. These are just for demonstration purposes, part of the conference. So this one, as I said, is the tension test. The reaction piles. I'm just gonna go around, show the entire setup, and now you can see the compression one. So the compression one is pretty neat. We have a big jack there, and we're gonna fail that one in compression. And the idea is we can show the difference between compression and tension test results in pretty much the same material. So now, similar to the one before, I'm gonna go to my friend Joan. He's gonna explain us exactly what is installed. He was the one installing this, capacities, and the idea is in a few hours after the seminars, we're gonna come here with the 300 people we have here in Medellín for the event, and then we're gonna fail them. So Joan, welcome again. Dime cómo son las especificaciones del detención.
Bueno, tenemos dos sistemas de prueba en este momento acá montados, uno a tracción y otro a compresión.
So the tension one is in the front.
El de tracción tenemos un micropilote R51800 con una capacidad de 64 toneladas a la fluencia.
Capacity for the front one, the tension one, it's 64 tons, and that is the structural capacity.
Y una capacidad última de 80 toneladas.
So 80 tons is the ultimate structural capacity.
Okay. Contamos con una longitud instalada de 18 metros, de los cuales 8 metros tenemos en roca.
So the total length is 18 meters, and the bottom 8 is bond zone. The 10 at the top is just free.
Y 150 milímetros de diámetro en perforación.
150 millimeters in diameter, which is 6 inches.
Okay. Contaremos con una carga de diseño tratando de no encontrar la fluencia de la barra, dado que es un ensayo a tracción. Entonces esperamos que el 250% de la prueba nos llegue cerca de las 64 toneladas.
So the idea is to fail this in geotech, not in structural. So what he did is he matched 250% of the load, the geotech load, is very close to the structural capacity. So we're trying to file this intention in the bedrock. ¿Cuál es la roca?
Granodiorita.
So the rock, it's granodiorita, very common here in Colombia, very high strength.
Okay. Segunda prueba, contamos con un montaje a compresión con 4.
Let's go to that side. Vamos a ese lado. The second is a compression, as I mentioned before. Obviously, he's trying to put more load because now he has end bearing, right? On tension, he only has skin friction, and now, obviously, we don't really count on design and bearing, but we want to see how it is.
Entonces, contamos con un micropilote de baroto perforante realizado por Geodic con un sistema de T76.900.
Self-drilling bar, again.
Esta barra tiene una capacidad de la fluencia de 150 toneladas y capacidad última de 190 toneladas.
So the yield is 150 tons and the ultimate is 190 tons. That's the structural capacity of the self-drilling bar.
Contamos con la misma longitud alcanzada de 18 metros con 8 en roca y un diámetro de 150 milímetros.
So same as the other one, 18 meters, 10 free, 8 bond. Same diameter, 150 millimeters, so the 6 inches.
¿Sí? Fue construida con una Komatsu MC12 ese equipo cuenta con unas presiones de percusión.
So it's a Camacho machine and its percussion is pretty strong.
¿Sí? Entonces cuenta con unas presiones de percusión que atribuyen un suelo muy duro. Fueron presiones de cerca de 200 bares en toda Salón.
200 bars on the pressure on the machine. So he's saying this rock is really, really hard. So we're probably gonna see some good results.
Esperamos a tener una capacidad por diseño de 72 toneladas, pero
So,
llegar a 250.
Okay, so geotech capacity for design, I mean, what they think it's 70 tons, but he's ready to go to 250. That's what he thinks it could take.
En ambos aplicaremos prueba de rendimiento, según lo que habla la FHWA, buscaremos 250%.
All tested with FHWA standards, 250% of that design load. All right, so I guess we're gonna start the test. We're gonna wait for the people to come here, and we'll show the results later on and have a discussion. Thanks. All right, so the tests are done. We're gonna comment the results that we saw. It was extremely interesting. First, let's start with the anchors. So, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong. The two tension tests on the anchors failed because of geotech, and it was fine. They exceeded the geotech capacity, which is great. They were about way higher than 100% of the design load, so that was absolutely success. The micropulse one was a different story. So my understanding is the tension one, we were there and it failed. It failed not on geotech capacity, but it failed on the structural capacity, right?
Yep.
It seems that granodiorite was really, really strong. But probably the most interesting
9 meters in the rock.
Yes, correct. And probably the most interesting one was the compression one, because they went higher than expected. And it ended up actually failing the frame. One of the beams, the reaction beams,
Yeah, one of the cross beams.
the cross beams, ended up just kind of tilting.
But we could see with the cap that there was some definite bending going on.
Yeah, it was already bending going on and then resulted into that. I think it passed the ultimate geotech capacity they thought. I'm not sure it was at the structural capacity of the bar, right?
That's fine.
So yeah. So no, overall it was a great event. It also shows that granodiorite from Medellín is really strong, and all the structural elements are gonna fail before that fail. So on the microplane. Yeah, very educational. So in the airport right now, signing off. This is the view that we have right now. Airplane ready to leave. That's it from Colombia.
Buenos
Bye.
días.